And you see, let's say this. Let's Greetings, shalom. This is Ted Hayes, civil rights, homelessness resolution activist, 35 years based here in Los Angeles, California. I am a 1866 14th Amendment Act, Civil Rights Act, U.S. federal super citizen. And it's by this authority and this identity I speak with you. Today, which is Sunday, April the 26th, the year 2020, I got a news article sent to me having to do with homelessness in Los Angeles, the national capital of homelessness, and comparatively the world, and also the national capital of homeless U.S. military veterans. I have an article that came to me today from the LA Times. It's called "Looking to Escape Endless Litigation. LA is Open to Federal Oversight for Homelessness." In other words, the federal government, it has gotten so bad, homelessness, and now with the combined threat of the coronavirus, whereby it's literally impossible for the 58,000+ U.S. citizens who are homeless in Los Angeles and LA County have to be tested and treated for the coronavirus in order for the virus to be officially declared over. I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense. You know, you got to take care of the homeless, but there is no way of doing that by state and county or even state resources. It's going to take the authority and the power of the President of the United States. In other words, it's got to be federalized. Homelessness must be federalized to actually lead through FEMA the addressing of this widespread homelessness. When I talk about homeless, I'm talking about the visible homeless, not the invisible homeless, which are more than visible. I'm talking about the visible, you know, out on the sidewalks, on the bridges. You see them every day, all up into the hills. They're everywhere, along the river beds and all that, right? In order to effectively and efficiently address all of those people for testing of the coronavirus and for treatment of most of whom the homeless, most of whom are unwilling to take the test. In order to get those resistors, it has to be systematic, rapid, and with the efficiency of the military, National Guard. Now, obviously, what they're going to do, they may round them up first in local areas and then take them out of town because, what are you going to do with that many people? Where are you going to put them? Now, so we got that crisis now that's added to the already crisis that we already had, what to do with the homeless population, because you and I know, and the government servants know, and the homeless know, that there is no pathway back to the mainstream of American society, at least not in LA, because of the cost of living, rent, $2,500 a month for a 1-2 bedroom, all that. Y'all know that's those items, those statistics. Now, it has gotten so bad so that LA knows they can't get them back in there. There's nowhere for them to go. And so this thing is building up. And now, apparently, according to this article, LA City Attorney Mike Feuer has begun discussions, requirements for sheltering the city's homeless population, a move that could once again place the city under federal oversight, of federal consent. They're working on this. There's city council members, this guy here, Joe Busciano, from the Valley, northern part of the Valley, he's advocating this primarily, apparently, But the city council has given Mike Fuhrer the permission to go ahead and start working out arrangements for a federal consent, meaning the city of LA, as well as the county, have admitted what I have been saying for 35 years, everybody, that it's going to take the power of the federal government to federalize homelessness to resolve it. And it looks like the coronavirus has really put the pressure on them because they've got a problem. Now, I want to speak right now at this point directly to Mayor Garcetti and President Donald Trump. You are the two most significant individuals in this whole story here. You're the president. You have the federal oversight. You have the United States Interagency Council on the Homeless based there in the White House. You have 19 federal departments at your beck and call under a czar, which you do not have at this time, and nor do you have, Mr. President. You do not have a national policy nor a national strategic strategy to address homelessness. And I don't blame you, sir. It is not your fault. You've inherited this. But you are the guy. I have been saying for 35 years, a president has to resolve this. And I was so thrilled, sir, last year when you publicly began to address the matter that no other president in the history of the United States other than Abraham Lincoln has dared to take on such a very difficult problem, particularly as it relates to Black homelessness, Black citizens homelessness. You know, the people upon whose back, ancestors' back, the nation of immigrants was built. The chattel slave, in fact, is upon which the nation of immigrants is built. You're aware of this, but you're the key figure. And if you look at all my documents, which you have them in the White House, you have them in HUD, they have them here at LASA, they have them in the mayor's office, they have them in the county. You have my documents. You can go to tedhayes.us. You can see all the information. You can go to the New Frontier 2, Operation Humanity. It's there. The information is also at Dome Village. Domevillage.us is there, where I talk about a strategic national plan and strategy, or a strategic national policy and plan to eradicate homelessness and its causes. And you know, Mr. Mayor Eric Garcetti, your significance in all of this, of course, you are the mayor of the homeless capital of America and comparatively the world. You are the mayor. You and I talked about this last June 19th. We talked about this, my friend. And I showed you what to do then. That you, as the mayor and as the county, you dare not try to resolve homelessness on your own, because if you did, your success would cause other jurisdictions near and far from you, governmental entities, to send their failed cases here to Los Angeles, which is some of that's already going on, but you know about Greyhound, you know, therapy and all those kinds of things. Now, sir, remember I shared with you in June 19th the JSAP, Mr. President. You have this with your executive director of the Interagency Council, Mr. Robert Marbut Jr. He has this information. So does Benjamin Hobbs in the Domestic Policy Council. He has this information as well. And there's a document among that information called the JSAP, the Joint Statement Action Plan of the Law Enforcement Working Group. And you look at the signatories, and Mr. Garcetti, Eric, your father, Gil Garcetti, was one of the signatories of the document when he was the LA District Attorney. He recognized, along with LA County Sheriff Leroy Baca, State Attorney General, it'll come to me shortly here, William Lockyer, and city attorney at the time, Jim Hahn, who became mayor, and also Chief Parks, LAPD at the time, and a bunch of other entities said in the document that homelessness, visible homelessness, is so big and so difficult and growing so rapidly that the only way we're going to be able to effectively address it is through a coordinated effort led by the President of the United States out of the White House. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I presented this to the President to every president, including this president, Donald J. Trump, and to every mayor, including this mayor, Eric Garcetti, about this whole concept. Now they are looking to, well, I guess y'all don't want to admit it, but I was right. I was right. Now, I'm saying to you, Mr. President and Mr. Garcetti, and we the people, all of you listeners and viewers, I called this 35 years ago. I knew that you would wait until homelessness became so bad that you would use the excuse of public health and safety to deploy the military to efficiently round us up and take us to quarantine. And unfortunately, we'll remain in quarantine because once the quarantine is over, there's no place for us to go. In other words, sirs and Americans, there is no exodus plan from the quarantine. Even Mr. President, even here locally, where Mr. Garcetti wisely is utilizing hotels and motels with a single room, not the open air spaces that he uses for other homeless people in the cold weather shelter and the bridge housing, things like that, in Mission downtown, LA and Skid Row. He's using the motels and hotels. But sir, Mr. President and American people, citizens, once the quarantine or the virus is declared over, where will these people in the hotels and the motels go? Where will they go to live productive lives in Los Angeles? You got a problem. See, Mr. Mayor, you got a problem. Are you gonna take care of these people forever in hotel rooms? What's going on here? And you know that's not gonna last because it's gonna deteriorate. You know that. That's just the nature of the elements that we're dealing with. So what are you gonna do about that? Now, Mr. President, if you indeed go ahead and you deploy FEMA and the National Guards to begin to round up all these folks in the name of public health and safety to stop the spread of the corona COVID-19 virus, fine. But my question to you, Mr. President, once you declared the virus over, if you can ever do that, because you know there's going to be more viruses, and plus homeless people living out in the streets, you know, festering rats and wisteria, cholera, and other related diseases from human beings living in outlawed zones of human habitation, public health and safety. There will be more. But let's say you want to declare it over, and you do declare it over. My question to you, of the 58,000+ people that you have rounded up and taken outside the city onto a decommissioned military base or some federal land or state or county land, I don't know what you're planning because your staff refuses to tell me what's going on. When the virus is declared over, Mr. President, Mr. Garcetti, County Board of Supervisors, and anyone else listening in government, and we the people, where will the inmates go? Where will they return to? They can't go back to those neighborhoods that the military collected them from, can they? Because you start the whole process over, especially if there's another virus coming down the road, or viruses coming down the road towards us. So what are you going to do with these people, Mr. President? And that's not just here for Los Angeles, because you're going to have to do that simultaneously, because you're going to federalize homelessness. You have to do it in Oregon, Washington State, Texas, New Mexico, Phoenix, Hawaii, New York, Baltimore, Detroit, Florida, around the country. Literally hundreds of thousands of American citizens quarantined forcefully by the military, even as they are doing in South Africa right now and other countries. When the virus is declared over, Mr. President, where are these people gonna go? Because you do not, and I know your policies, and I know yours, Mr. Garcetti, you do not have an exodus strategy. And if you don't have an exodus strategy, Mr. President, Mr. Garcetti, County Board of Supervisors of LA, because these people will be held indefinitely, you would have successfully driven our country into an unprecedented, unique form of American fascism, because you would have created forced internment camps and concentration camps. And we would have failed our founding fathers who said, in the midst of chattel slavery when it was born, this nation was born, this Republican form of government saying to the American people, to we the people, we have given you a republic if you can keep it. Remember, the American Republican form of government is a aberrational experience in history, that we were going to do away with the tyranny that caused social injustice and economic injustice and political injustice and judicial injustice, which results in the ultimate statement of people being pushed out of society into a state of homelessness. And the founding fathers gambled with this experiment that we would not allow that to happen. Yet when the country was born with chattel slavery, born on the back of chattel slavery, the very descendants of the chattel slaves upon whose ancestors' back this nation of immigrants is built, is now the primary numbers, disproportionate of homelessness, and the disproportionate numbers of getting the corona COVID-19 virus. Now, if you're going to address this matter, sir, because it's going to be dealing with us black folks, us black U.S. citizens, federal U.S. citizens, whom are under your jurisdiction as the president. You have personal jurisdiction over us, sir, according to the Civil Rights Act of 1866. If you're going to deal with this, especially dealing with my people, it can no longer be a backdoor kind of approach in this country for us, or back of the bus, or an afterthought, or crumbs from the white citizens' table. No, sir. No, sirs. This has to be black citizens first. And like it or not, I am the most foremost civil rights homelessness resolution, black man, black citizen, super citizen activist in America. I am the only one for the last 35 years who has consistently put forth a basic blueprint, strategic, national policy and plan to address this matter. I'm the only one who understands that or have that. And I deserve, and my people deserve, the right to be at the table with you white citizens as you begin to define our destiny. We want to be the masters of our own destiny. God has made it so. And that's why I was sent at this time as the #1 exhibit witness against what has been going on in this city and this country concerning my homeless people. I'm here, gentlemen. And all of you, we the people, you can reach me at tedhayes.us. Just go there. You'll see all the information. I've gone on now for almost 19 minutes. I didn't mean to do that. But I had to let you know, as of today, the Los Angeles City Council has given up. They gave up the fight, and the county has admitted they can't do it. It takes the federal government. But one last thing, Mr. Garcetti, I told you when we met last year, and I encouraged you to go to the president, and you did, and the president to come to you, and y'all did. If you don't handle this right, you will go down in history as the two gentlemen that blew it for this country. Okay, it's come upon your shoulder now. Okay, I am willing, and my team and I, and we the people are willing to work with you and to help you rectify the situation. Okay, we have an exodus for you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Eric Garcetti, Donald Trump, we the people, for listening. Shalom.